Well, it's been a little over a week since my last video. A couple reasons for that. Number one, it's just been freezing bitter cold and I ain't been doing much but keeping the chickens alive, keeping the house warm. Number two, I've been sick. So even if I could have went out and done stuff, I wouldn't have been doing much. But one of the tricks that I had to take care of is keeping these guys watered. Coming out every day, making sure their water was flowing. I tried putting heat lamp inside, but I left it on during the day and it made the water freeze a little slower, but anyway, it still froze. And I shut it off at night because chickens aren't up at night anyway. So what am I doing today? Well, I wanted to talk about how much wood I went through. How much wood did I go through in about a 10-day period? Me and my two daughters, we loaded the woodshed up pretty good. The day before, it got cold and snowed, which was last Sunday, a week ago, 2 days ago, 9 days ago. This is Tuesday morning, around 11:30. I'm out gathering eggs. You see, I got a few. We've been getting 2 to 4 eggs a day. But anyway, I just thought I'd talk to you about how well the wood burner worked. This is the first real test it's had. Last winter was so mild, I didn't dig up the canna bulb and it came back. I don't know if it's going to come back this year. Anyway, still got a residual hoarseness, cough. How much wood did we go through? Well, if you look at my last video, you might notice that underneath the roof out here, I had it piled up pretty good. I had 2 piles. One pile, and both piles were about almost 10 feet long. One pile went almost all the way to the roof and in the back. And then the second pile was close to that. It was maybe a foot away from the roof, up underneath here. Yeah, there's the roof. You'll notice there's no wood up on that roof anymore. That dripped on. Where's the wood? All the way down there. Let me kind of back up a bit so you can get a better look at just how much wood we used. This was full all the way up to there. Now mind you, it's been 10 days. And today's about 40. It's 40 now. It's supposed to get to 45. Yesterday got up to about 40, almost 40. 38, 39 is the highest I saw. Before that, it was pretty cold. We had a couple days last week that had lows in the low 20s, got up to the high 30s. But a week ago right now, a week ago today, we got down to 2 below, and I think the high was like 14. And the day before was pretty much the same, only the overnight low was like 2 above. So we had a few really cold days, and it was windy most of that time. And then it warmed up around 40 a couple days, and over the weekend we got back down to single-digit lows and 20s for highs. But now we're starting to get back to the usual Ozark winter. Southern Ozarks, we're in Arkansas, not in Missouri. So, how much wood was that? I'd say it was half a cord anyway. Maybe a little more than half a cord. So, I'm not sure if we're really going to have enough wood left from last year's cutting to get us all the way through the cold season, but we have enough to get us through the worst of it. We have still one more pile right there. This pile here. That's about another cord. And that's all good oak. All good white oak. But I don't know how much you remember of the pile I had, but if you look over here, that pile is all gone. Now this is the pine. I don't know if it's going to be dry enough to use this year or not. It was 20% when I split it and tested it a month ago. It's been under a cover, but not the perfectly watertight cover. But 2 things about that black plastic. A, it keeps most of the moisture off, and B, it creates a lot of heat underneath there, even on cooler days when the sun's out. So I'll test it again and see if I can use it when that other wood runs out. If that other wood runs out. We're supposed to get to 60 next week. So we used a pretty good sized pile of wood. How did it perform? How did the wood burner perform? Well, it performed pretty well. We got out here and ran a brush through it right before the cold snap hit, and it needed it bad. It was really creosoted. First time I've done it since I put it up a year ago, so it's got half of last season, half of this season. And I run a lot of slow fires. You look at it right now, you'll kind of see there. I got a slow fire going right now because it's in the 40s in the daytime. It's chilly and damp. I just want to knock the dampness off. But every morning I fire up a nice hot fire, open up the damper, try to burn out as much as I can, put some of the powder in there every so often to burn it out. But I got a brush and a ladder. I'll climb up there and get it again when it needs it. But it kept the house pretty warm. Now when it was down around 0 and the wind was blowing, I noticed the furnace would kick on from time to time, especially in the mornings when I'd let the fire die down overnight. And I'd get down there and open it up and put a nice hot fire in there. But it didn't stay as warm as it usually does when it's like this, especially. But it kept the house warm. There weren't no pipes freezing. There weren't any pipes freezing. So there is that. None of my roofs leak. That's good. I was a little bit concerned about this little guy here because he's only got about a 1.25% grade. Over 10 feet it drops 18 inches. You do the math. And we had a pretty decent snow, about 7 or 8 inches. They said we were going to get 2.5 on Sunday and flurries on Monday. We got about 4 on Sunday and another 3.5 on Monday. So pretty close to 8 inches of snow. But it's mostly all melted off now. There's a little skim here of slushy snow left on the ground. You can see it here in the background. But it's melting off quickly today. It'll be gone by tomorrow night for sure. Well, it's been a few hours. I went in and started editing the video and found out that for some reason it had a glitch right here. So I'm going to try to continue on best as my memory serves from where I was. But as you can see, this is all gone here, right in this section. But see, I had a big pile on the other side of that too. And that was all nice white oak. And it's gone as well. And we're only down to the 23rd of January. January and February is what we really call winter here. So thankfully we got some 50s coming this week, 60s coming next week. We'll see what happens after that. But it is raining a little bit. But as you can see also, that snow in the last couple of hours has really melted off. They say fog melts snow faster than anything. And other than maybe a spray hose with hot water, I think they're right, because I've seen it happen before several times. So anyway, to recap, this is how much wood is left from the pile we had that was all the way up to the rafters on the back pile, and the front pile was up to about here, and the back pile was up even higher. We went through, and this is 10 feet. It's 10 feet from the end of the concrete. Where's the end of the concrete? Right there. To this back wall right here. That's exactly 10 feet. So it might have been more than half a cord. It might have been 3/4 of a cord that we went through in just a week's time. 10 days. 10 days. Not all of them days were bitter cold. But man, when it was bitter cold, I was going through half a dozen arm loads a day. And I mean nice big arm loads. So that's kind of how it works when you're burning wood. I have to say, the wood burner I've got is kind of a wood hog. It's kind of a, let me show it to you. It really eats a lot of wood. It really does. It's a wood hog. I know it looks like an Ashley, but it's not. It's called a heat wave. I don't know if you could see that down there. Right there. It's a heat wave. Basically the same as an Ashley. The way they're designed and built, someone ripped somebody off because they're all the same. Ashleys, heat waves, they're all the same. I chose this for 2 reasons. Number one, the guy had it for sale for $200. It was rusty, it was ugly. I didn't care. It's going down this little basement, going to heat the house. It was $200. But the main reason I got it is because it has a separate ash pan. You look over here on the end, and this is very important. Having an ash door separate from your wood door. But why is that important? Well, the main reason that's important is simple. you want to keep a fire going when you heat your house with wood. Now, if you just want to knock the chill off once in a while or have a crackling fire once in a while for aesthetic reasons, yeah, it doesn't matter. But those standalone units, a lot of times, you have to let the fire go out to scoop the ash out of there and then build a new fire. You really want to have to do that a couple times a day? Let it go out? You're trying to keep your house warm with it. You want your house to get nice and warm, and then, oh, we got to let it get cold, get the ashes out. No. You want something with a separate ash door. You can open it up, empty the ash pan, put it back in, keep the fire going. And that's the reason why I got this. That, and I was running out of money after I did everything else. So the price of the wood burner had to be cheap. I really wanted to get one that is one of those with the door in the front. Fire comes out the back. It's got two 8-inch pipes that come off the top, two blowers in the back, and it blows. I had one of those in Illinois. They put out a lot of heat. This one's rated for about 2,000 square foot house. The one I'm talking about with the blowers is rated for about 2,500 square foot house. And I could have hooked it up to the heat vents and kept this house warmer. It would do a better job of warming the house if it had its own blowers and vents. And I don't know, maybe somewhere down the road I'll get one of those put in. But for now, this $200 jobby eats a lot of wood, but it heats the house pretty well. I just have to run my own pipes. As you can see, I got a little bit of wood I brought in since I made the earlier video. Probably not even noticeable how much that was outside. That's the reason why I'm working so hard. Get a nice big pile of wood for next year. Because where I'd like to be is where I can keep my house nice and warm all year next year and still have a cord or two left. I want to get ahead. A full season is where I'd like to be. Get a wood shed built, have the wood shed full of enough wood to get through an entire winter, and have a couple of stacks like that sitting out there for the following year. That's where I'd like to be. I'm getting too old to go out there and chase my tail. I got to get ahead of this thing now because I'm only getting older. That's how it works. And I don't want to be in my 60s out there trying to rustle up enough wood for every year. I want to be a couple years ahead. Cut a little wood, split a little wood, stack a little wood. No big rush, no big push. Take my time doing a little here, a little there, and stay ahead. That's where I'd like to be. And that's the plan. That's where you want to be. Is ahead, not behind. Ahead of the 8 ball, as they say. So thanks once again for watching. Give us that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll talk again. Thanks again.